Hi guys, Radhika here. So today the video is going to be about do narcissists know what they are doing? So as I have repeated a lot of times in my videos, narcissism is a spectrum, and like anything in life is a spectrum actually. Even if you give someone a quality of niceness or of rudeness or of love or compassion, everything is actually a spectrum because you cannot, these are things that you cannot quantify. So you cannot like measure how much love is a person giving. So these are things that you feel. So that's why it's fuzzy like that. It's like a spectrum of things. So as you know, narcissism is also a spectrum, and all of us are narcissists to some degree. All of us. Like if you look into the mirror to see how you are looking today, it's narcissism. So someone might do it just like two times in the day, or every time maybe they go to the bathroom. Some other person might keep doing it every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes they want to take a selfie. So as you can see, this does not mean that the person who's taking the selfies is a bad person. The problem in narcissism begins, it's not so much visually how you see yourself. Of course, visually also they narcissists of some degree feel they are better than others because they look a certain way. But the main problem of narcissism is when all the relationships around you start going start going downwards in a downward spiral because of the way you perceive yourself and you perceive the world. So it's a mental disorder because there is there is a dissonance in how you actually perceive the world and how the world is, and you are trying to convince everyone that you see the world in this way, and you're trying to convince people how others are. So basically you kind of become like the creator of this world that you think is true, and you are trying to convince everyone around you that this is the way it is. And this I'm describing the narcissist. That's what the narcissist does, at least a covert one. And overt one doesn't even try to convince people, because the overt narcissist kind of feels like whatever he or she thinks, that's the way it is. They don't even try to convince people. So as you can see, like narcissism is a spectrum and we all fall on that spectrum somewhere. So everyone in this world will fall on the spectrum, because if you exist you do fall on the spectrum. So you fall on the age spectrum, or you fall on the niceness spectrum, or you fall on the rudeness spectrum. So everything in life is a spectrum. Someone who's nice also has the ability of being not so nice, so they can move along the spectrum to another point. And so today I might be really nice to you, but tomorrow maybe something is my day is really bad and I might be bad to you. So I will move on the niceness spectrum to the rude side, because I will move away from niceness. So similarly, in the spectrum of narcissism, people who are closer to source or knowledge or truth, or you can say their own soul, so they are the ones who are more uh, who have more clarity in life. They see their actions, they see their thoughts, they see their emotions, they also see their own energy. So they have a certain level of clarity. They know who they are and they accept who they are. Now, with the narcissist, they fall on the other end of the spectrum. So, the other end of the spectrum is away from knowledge. So, it's towards ignorance, it's towards falsehood, it's um, towards like destruction. So it's not towards the creative end of the spectrum. So a narcissist is more away from their actual feelings, from their actual emotions, because when they were a young kid, Someone has taught them again and again that what they feel is wrong, what they think is wrong, what basically they have not been validated for who they were, who they truly were when they were a kid. And they have chosen this path of putting on a false image to please someone. To maybe they put on that image to please their parents when they were kids, but they have kind of lived with that image over the years. So they have moved on the spectrum, and the more they don't actually look into their own actions and thoughts and beliefs and energy, the more, so basically they don't look at these things, but they make up these things. So it's kind of like if I'm having a really bad day, but so say let me give you a good example. So if I am say if I am pregnant, and everyone says in pregnancy you have to be super happy, so and you have to be super positive. So if I am not feeling happy and I'm not feeling positive on a particular day of my pregnancy, but I keep on saying that I'm happy, I'm positive, I'm happy, I'm positive, although I'm not actually feeling it. And it's hard for me to believe it because the hormones in my body are going crazy. So, but if I tell someone in my family that I'm feeling really angry today, or I'm feeling this, so immediately they scare you. They will tell you, no, but that will harm your baby, and this will happen, and that will happen, and so and so. So immediately, what I can do is I can put up a fake self of being happy all the time, and I will go around telling people, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. Whereas internally, I'm not happy. So the narcissist keeps doing this his whole life, his or her whole life. They keep on trying to please the society or the standard or an idea of, like an idea, a template of being either a good person, a good wife, a good daughter, a good husband, a good son, whatever. So basically, they kind of fall into the trap where they are trying to please someone else, and what they do is they keep on ignoring what they are actually feeling. And when they keep doing this for a long time, I think after a point, they lose that the touch that we have with our inner self, they lose it somewhere. And when that touch with the inner self goes away, they are they are not left with anything else other than this image that they have made for themselves. And so when that happens, they will just scramble and try to stick to that image in whatever way they can. And that's why they are so insecure, and that's why they have to convince everyone around them that they are beautiful, or they are intelligent, or they are such a good person, or they are a victim, or they always do good for everyone else but no one does good for them. And that they have to do because the source, the innermost soul that they have distanced themselves from the soul, and they have kept on doing this for years. So when they were a child, probably, and when they first did something which was false, which was not true, which was not true to their soul, they might have felt really, they might have felt bad doing it. So if a child is not a bully, but if that child sees his siblings or someone in say his classroom bully another person, that child might feel bad, but the child might decide that if I don't side with these people who are the bullies, who seem to be powerful in this particular situation, I might be bullied next. So it might be a survival instinct that a child will side with the bullies, and over time, either that child might become the bully because he likes that power, he starts liking the power that the bully has, or the child will just become like a codependent and just get all mixed up inside in the subconscious level. So when the child the was doing that the first time, the inner voice might have been really strong, and it is very strong for all of us. When we are kids, we are much more compassionate, we are much more sensitive, we are much more in touch with source when we are children. But over years, this world and society and family and schools and everything, they kind of move us away from the source, because not everyone here is connected to the source. So we might interact with a lot of people who fall on this narcissism spectrum and are towards the narcissistic side and not so much towards the source side. Now, it's really lucky if someone has parents or someone close to them who is close to the source side. And I think in life we always find people who are a mixture of both. So some of them are very close to source, and some of them are very close to the narcissistic end of the spectrum, and some of them fall in between. And we also keep moving as things in our life change, as we evolve. And so that's why it's kind of it's that's how I think the timeline or the spectrum is of narcissism. And I would actually also like to include a metaphysical concept called karma, and I know in English it's called karma, but it's actually in Sanskrit or Hindi it's actually karma. So karma is action. So action, or you can say like a consequence. So every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and that's the same thing that we believe in spirituality. So it's not like a scientific reaction, but every action or every thought or everything that you have is affecting everything else in a certain way, and that's reaction. So that's what creation will give you. It's not like a ping pong kind of a reaction, like action reaction, but that's how the universe works. So I would also like to include karma in this spectrum. So basically, what I feel is the closer you are to source, the less and less karma you will produce. And the more away you are from source, the more towards the narcissism spectrum you are, you will create more and more karma. Now, I can go into the whole concept of why karma is important, and what is the significance of it, and how it relates to rebirth and things like that. But it might be like more of a spiritual kind of a video. So basically, I don't want to go into a lot of detail of that right now. But all I can say is, if you have been through this experience, then and you want to heal, and you could also be a narcissist who wants to heal, because we all have some qualities of narcissists within us. And I'm sure sometime in the life we have been a narcissist ourselves, and we have been like, we have accused someone of something that they did not do, or we have judged someone, or we have kind of like created a situation for someone and victimized someone in some way. No matter how small it was, it might not have been a big thing. Or we might have hit someone when we were young, like a child, or we might have gotten angry and hit someone. So these things happen. I would not, if you actually understand it all, labeling is really bad. So calling someone a narcissist is also a really bad thing, because that person has complete potential of being a non-narcissist or an empath. So there is, like, if you actually go to look at things, there's very little difference between all these labels. It's just about the work that one puts in to themselves, inner work, to move from one label to another. And then you reach a stage where you don't need any labels at all, because you understand that everyone is everything, so you don't actually need labels. So yeah, so basically I so let me just show you a drawing that I have of this spectrum. Can you see it? So this is what I think the spectrum looks like. So as you can see, this end is close to the source, it's close to oneness, it's close to God, it's close to creation, source, knowledge, truth, which is the self truth, not truth like a truth that the society will tell you this is true and that's false, but it's the self truth. So what is your truth? And the some of the qualities it we have at the spectrum are peace, love, compassion, forgiveness, empathy, understanding. And as you move away from the spectrum, here is where you have all the NPD folks, and they are closer to division, so they will divide and conquer people with their tails. They are closer to, I mean, people who are religious might call it devil or demon or whatever you want to call it. Destruction, fog as opposite to source, I could not find a better word for that. Ignorance, falsehood. And some of the qualities that the NPD people are closer to is chaos, hatred, ego, revenge, jealousy, superiority, judgment. And as you can see, as I mentioned, if you are close to the source, you will have less and less karma. And when you are closer to NPD, you will have more and more karma. So I say you will have less and more karma because karma, actually this is a very broad topic, and I should probably do another video on it, otherwise this will get way too long. So yes, this is what I think explains it, and this is just something that I drew and this is how I understand it. So you might understand it this way or some other way. So, in the end, I do believe that a narcissist, no matter how deep into narcissistic personality disorder they are, they do know what they are doing. They do know it, and the problem is that they keep ignoring the inner voice that they have. Like if I'm we all have an inner voice, we all do, and a lot of us have completely ignored it for a long time. Some of you might be listening to it now and then. So the inner voice is really just your subconscious or something that knows better than you or better than your ego. So say I'm eating something, I'm eating an ice cream. So I finish an ice cream, but I feel like I want some more. But this subconscious voice, it kind of tells me that, you know what, I think you've had enough, don't have it. So it's that small voice in your head which is like, no, I shouldn't have it. It just says that much. And so you might ignore it or you might listen to it. So the voice is actually telling you such small things as well. So like, should I eat another ice cream? So it tells you such small things as well. So I think you should what the narcissist does is the narcissist has learned to ignore this inner voice since childhood, probably since they were 5 or 6, because they had too much trauma in their life. And when they listened to the inner voice, they kept on getting either punished or reprimanded or ignored or put down. So when they got into this peer pressure of not listening to the inner voice, they gave in to the peer pressure. So they have stopped listening to their inner voice, they have stopped listening to the subconscious, and over time, now they have reached such a stage in life that they think they are greater than the inner voice. So they have reached that stage of ego, that the ego is actually overriding the soul. So they are completely ego driven now. They have, that's why sometimes you feel like a narcissist has no soul. You feel like how can they not feel bad for what they are doing? They are breaking apart families with like little children, and they are they are completely devoid of any empathy other than empathy towards themselves. So yeah, that's what happens. Basically, they just keep moving away from the source, and they do have that inner voice, but now they feel that they are greater than the inner voice. So they actually feel like they are supreme, like they are kind of like God. They feel that, they feel like they are God, and that's why they do all these manipulations and they play out these situations and they make things happen. They are great people to make things happen, you know, they do make things happen, but they make them happen by manipulation, by troubling people, by breaking people down, by breaking people's souls. But they do get to what they actually want to be done. So when they actually get to the goal, so say a covert narcissist wants to break apart a family, and when the covert narcissist is able to do that, the covert narcissist might feel like, I did this. This is my creation. I created this. And a part of the covert narcissist is feeding the ego with this creation. So it's creation, but for them, but for us, it's destruction. For us, it is the opposite of creation. But because their mind is so twisted, they feel like they are creating something. They are creating chaos. They are creating destruction. So it's just like it's just really sad, because instead of going up, they are going down. So yeah, it's a sad situation to be in. If you are a narcissist, you probably won't be seeing this video, but if you are an have suffered through this, just know that what they are suffering and what they will have to go through is like eons more than what you will have to go through. So you actually are getting the better deal of the bargain, if you were to think in those terms. Also, you who are watching this video is probably listening to your inner voice, because that's how you figured out about narcissism and about all these things that have probably happened to you. And so I would say, if you want to heal, the best way to heal is not obsess over the narcissist and what they think and why they think, because really once you understand it, you just feel sorry for them. There's nothing you can do for them. And what you can do is do some inner work, understand what parts of you have been broken by life. I wouldn't say by narcissism, but just by life or the narcissist, because the narcissist happens as a part of life, and we all are here to learn something. And that's why the narcissist is also probably put into your path, so that you learn something. So the narcissist is actually in a way guiding you to your inner voice, to do your inner work, and to basically help yourself, because the narcissist is beyond help. So you cannot help them, but what you can do is you can help yourself. And if you help yourself, you are actually helping everyone else, and you are also helping the narcissist in a way. So yeah, so basically just keep doing anything that you can do to keep your mind, body, spirit complex, in the most productive, in the most positive state that it can be in. And yeah, so that was my video on do narcissists actually know what they are doing, and what were my thoughts on it. So if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also share my videos if you want to. um, And yep, I hope you all have a lot of love and a lot of light in your life. Thank you.